Alrighty, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another week in the world of crypto, and of course, happy Monday to you. So in today's video, I want to give you guys just an update about Bitcoin and Solana specifically. Now, I know that's a weird mixture, but they're both showing me something that I believe to be pretty important that I want to share with you. Now, on a bit of a side note, of course, the crypto market has been doing pretty well recently. Of course, as we have been getting all of these news and rumors about BlackRock's ETF and the fact that it could actually go through over the next few months. Now, not only that, though, we're also starting to see rumors and people saying that Gary Gensler could be leaving the SEC, which although I do hope that happens, I don't think it's going to happen, but there is just so much going on within the world of crypto. And now, as a result of this, of course, many people are starting to get optimistic and hopeful, and with that, of course, does come a little bit of naivety and people thinking that there's no way anything bad could happen. Now, you guys know I believe 2023 is the year of manipulation, and as a result of that, I want to make sure that I keep you guys steady. I want to make sure that we don't go too far into excitement, too far into fear. We stay right down the middle road and just look at what we are given. And of course, that's what we're going to do today. So let's not waste any more time at all. We're going to start off with Bitcoin here. Then we're going to get into a crypto that I did recently just buy. Then we're going to cover Solana. So let's do it. So looking at Bitcoin, of course, first and foremost, we can see that this thing has been doing pretty dang well recently. What you can see here is that its price did get a return off of this $31,000 level, right back down to that key level of liquidity, just as we anticipated, before now getting this move back to the upside. Now, as we can see though, although it did get this nice little move of over 20% to the upside, we are starting to flatline a little bit here, but to be honest, this is rather expected. The reason this was expected is you just have to look at the level itself, not the price, the level. And what you can see here is that first and foremost, just recently and previously, this was the key level of rejection that pushed the price back to the downside. So obviously it's like a wall, right? All the people who bought here, or even, likelihood is down here, they're going to be the same ones selling right here, trying to get out. Now, not only that, if we do go back a little bit further, this was also that little level that we ran into right before all of the craziness of 2022 started. I'm talking the Luna crash, of course, everything that happened with Anchor Protocol, all of that started to happen right here, right around that same level. Now, if we go even further back, what you can see here is that this is also the level that we put a bottom in during the 2021 bull market before finishing off this bull market, putting in our top here, and then continuing it down into the bear market. So again, we're not focused on the price, we're focused on the level, and the level says that this is a key level of rejection in both directions. So it is no surprise here that we are battling and we're not just absolutely flying through it. Okay. Now that's the first reason why I am being a little bit cautious right now, but let me explain to you the reasons why I am warning you that Bitcoin's price could pull back pretty soon here. Now, the first main warning comes from what we are seeing structurally. I'm more of a structure person than anything else because structure, in my opinion, is a direct result of psychology of investors. And what we can see here is structurally, we have a very bearish structure. What you can see here is an ascending structure in which we have, of course, higher highs and, of course, higher lows. Now, of course, generally that sounds great, right? The price is moving upwards. And although I do agree in the macro, in the short term, these things are typically bearish, ascending structures, ascending wedges, or ascending triangles. What you can see here is that historically, when we get ascending structure, we will very likely break to the downside out of it. That is simply just what happens. You can see here, we were getting all of this great movement to the upside, higher highs, higher lows, but we did eventually break down to the downside and retest that bottom side support. You can see here that this thing was just barely ascending, but it is ascending. And you can see here, boom, that we did get this break to the downside after we did put in multiple highs and multiple lows. Going back a little bit further here, you can see it here. We talked about this before. Higher highs, higher lows, and although it looked great, we did eventually crash to the downside out of it. And this continues on and on throughout the history of Bitcoin. And so with that in mind, while we are starting to get very close to the end of this ascending structure, although it's not 100% guaranteed that we're going to break out, there is a strong chance that it will happen, and you just need to be aware of that chance that it may happen. Now, great. If it breaks to the upside, fantastic. I was wrong. I'd love to be wrong. I have over 3 Bitcoin myself. I would love to see them go up, but that's not what I'm here to tell you. What I'm here to tell you is the reality is there's a stronger chance that it breaks to the downside than there is to the upside. Now, not only that, though, if we do look at our daily chart prime oscillator, we are getting early indication that this is the case. You can see here that this overbought reading did flash once we hit again on this $31,000 level, as well as we did get the red reversal triangle there, and we did get our bearish momentum dot flashing here. All three of these combined tells me, okay, we are losing momentum as we get up here. Although it could continue to touch the top side of this wedge, a pullback is very likely. When you pair that with our market oracle, again provided by Chart Prime, you can see the picture even clearer. You can see here that we are getting that possible reversal down printing, and we're also getting our bearish engulfing pattern printing. This is the same combination that we got back here, bearish engulfing, possible reversal down, and as we did get this combination, that indicated the top before we did see that pullback to the downside, okay? So when you partner all of these things together, you partner this descending structure, you partner what we're seeing here on this market oracle with your bearish engulfing and your PRD. When you go down and you look at your overbought territory, you look at your red reversal triangle, your bearish momentum dot, all of these things say that there is a very strong chance that even if Bitcoin does get that break up towards $34,000 towards the top side of the wedge, we're very likely going to come back down and not only just revisit the bottom side of the wedge, but probably break to the downside out of it and look to possibly revisit $25,000. That's just what it's telling us. Now, yes, obviously, if the BlackRock ETF just magically gets accepted, then yeah, it's going to send this thing to 40K probably, something like that. But we're not betting on things that we don't know if they're going to happen. What we're betting on are the things that we can clearly see, and we can clearly see that Bitcoin is at a major risk. And so what I'm doing personally is I'm dollar cost averaging as per usual, but I am no longer going in on long trades. I'm not doing big buys. I'm not doing anything crazy because right now the risk is simply just too high for me, especially if I could get better purchases back down here, or who knows, maybe back down here if things do get really ugly, okay? And so with that in mind, with Bitcoin specifically, I am holding off because I do believe it's in the danger zone. Now, speaking of Solana, I also believe that Solana is in a much bigger danger zone. So let's talk about that in a second here after we do talk about, of course, today's sponsor. Now, they're not really a sponsor. Honestly, this is a company that my agency has partnered with. You guys know I own the Hill Growth Agency, and I partner with companies that I want to help reach their potential. That's kind of my thing. And of course, this is one that we've partnered with. So of course, there is some collaboration there, but they're a good example of what I am doing outside of the layer 1s and the layer 2s, because I do believe that right now is the best time to truly start engaging with some of these younger projects, because once we do see Bitcoin rally and then our altcoins rally, these are going to be the ones going into the bull market next year that I do believe will see those 100, 200, 300 times returns. And of course, I want to be a part of that, obviously. And so Z-Cubed is a company, again, that I did recently partner with, and what they are going to be doing is building an entire ecosystem of innovative products and technologies, breaking down the barriers to project development and forging a safer future for DeFi, one smart contract at a time. You guys know these type of companies are the ones I like to invest in when they're super small, because they're actually providing utility to the world of Web3, which is what it needs. What we can do here is we can go to Enter the Cube, and this is their actual platform itself. This is where they're putting all of the utility of not only the platform, but the native token of the entire ecosystem. And what you can see is they've built a ton of stuff already. From ZEV3, of course, which is your contract creator. You have Sentinel. Sentinel Swap is the only for the purchase of ZEV3 tokens, but it provides you with a lot of opportunities to, of course, get the tokens without having to go through the crazy annoying process that most tokens do have, of course. They have an LP locker. Of course, you guys know what that is. You have your Tesseract, which is coming soon. Stay tuned. That thing is absolutely sick. You have launches, which is when you can actually launch your token through them, which is a much easier process than what you have to usually do, and you can avoid a lot of those real sketchy devs, which no one really likes to deal with. And then of course we can see here that they are going to have their service providers. There's even more services coming soon here. Stay tuned for that, when they're actually going to be providing services for the companies that do launch through them, that use their LP locker, that use their contract creator. They're also going to give them the opportunity to get audited, to get marketing, to do all of the things that they need to find their success. And of course, as a result of that, the Z3 team is going to receive profits from it. As they do receive profits from it, they're going to re-inject those profits back into the ecosystem, back into the token through buybacks, burns, and much more. And those are the type of things that I like to invest in, right? These are the ones that I think if they use their utility right, if they market themselves right, if they actually go through with the utility of the token and the platform, re-injecting the profits from it back into the token is an easy way to consistently see the price's value increase. And those are the ones that I want to be a part of, okay? This thing is very small. It is within the hundreds of thousands of market cap right now. And of course, again, I do think that 50, 60, 70 million market cap at some point isn't out of the question. And so it's why I want to be a part of it. Now, I'm going to make a full video pretty soon on these guys and just go really further in depth about exactly what they do. So do make sure you stay tuned and just look out for that video. But I wanted to just introduce you to them today. But of course, let's get back into the video. So talking about Solana, let's go over again why I believe this thing is really in the danger zone and you need to pay very close attention to it. So looking at Solana here, we can see that it is now approaching this key level of resistance, this descending level of resistance, this descending trend line that we have been under for 14 months. Now, what you can see here is that we have been rejected off this thing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times now, all of which equaling over 20 to 80% moves to the downside. This rejection led to a move of 50% to the downside. This one led to a 38% rejection to the downside. This one led to an 80% rejection to the downside. This one right here, let's go back. This one led to a 27% rejection to the downside. This approach led to a 40% rejection to the downside. Now, I don't really have to do too much explaining on this thing, right? It's obvious that there is a major threat for Solana at this given point, especially considering the fact that the price is about 8% away from that trend line. So personally speaking, I am not buying while we are directly below this. The reason being is there's one of two options here. Option number one is that we're going to get up to this trend line and crash to the downside back towards $10, just like we have every other time that we've touched it. The second option is that we will eventually break this one day. We will, of course, that's how it goes. And maybe that is now. Maybe the time for us to break this level is now. And the option is that we get above this trend line, at which point I would be way more confident purchasing Solana, and I wouldn't be stressed about the possibility of a 40 to 50% crash to the downside. So obviously right now, both of those options are better for me. I either purchase right here or I purchase a little bit higher when I'm actually confident that we're going to see some type of move to the upside. The reason why I'm really nervous about what we're seeing is because Solana is giving early indication of some type of move being a little bit overextended. You can see we got this red reversal triangle printing, which is usually the first indicator that flashes when Solana is getting overbought. And so as we do approach this trend line, it's showing us clearly that we're starting to run out of steam. And so of course, when we run out of steam, what happens is, well, usually a pullback to the downside. And so personally speaking, as we do get these early indications, I am going to watch this. I am going to watch our market oracle, in which we are approaching right now, and see if we're capable of getting back above this level and flipping this thing green and starting to really make some progress to the upside. If Solana is capable of doing that, then yeah, I'm perfectly fine with going long here, even if it does go sideways for a little while and then eventually jolt to the upside. But I am not confident, and I am not going to be purchasing right here when, historically speaking, for the last 14 months, we will get rejected to the downside. Now, again, as I said, it will eventually break this. One day it will happen, but I don't know if that's today, and I'm not going to bet that it's today, especially in this market of manipulation that we're in right now. So what I want you to do is watch very closely. Let this thing play out, let it get closer to this trend line, and just see what happens. There's no need to rush right here. There's no difference if you purchase at $19 here and $20 here, but there is a huge difference of what that could look like for the future, and I believe it's worth just waiting. Okay, so for Bitcoin and Solana specifically, again, I believe that they're very risky right now. Historically, what we're seeing from both of them will lead to a pullback, but you never know when times will change, and that is a reason why I will continue to update you as this does continue to play out. Now, if you do enjoy these updates, and if you like the new style of these videos that I've been posting over the last few weeks, definitely let me know in the comment section below. I would love to hear your opinion, and I will adjust accordingly. But with that said, of course, I hope you guys did enjoy, and I will see you all next time. Peace.